I didn't realise how much detail was in the painting. That's probably the main thing, like seeing all the colours and like brush strokes. It's really fascinating, yeah.
I think it's just been beautifully done. So you have several minutes to look at the painting to begin with, and then you go into the pod and you're carried through the painting. I like the sounds, actually.
Well, this is Jan Gossaert's Adoration of the Kings. It's a painting that really takes you inside it. That it's a story about birth, it's about beginnings, and it's a story about the world. There are things here that are decaying, and there are things that are being made anew. I'm very excited about this digital experience. It's something completely new for us in relation to this painting. And I think it's going to allow us to explore a lot of the aspects of the painting that might be difficult otherwise when people are just standing in front of it in the gallery.
Sensing the unseen fits into our kind of longer term plans for digital at the gallery. But we've been looking over the last 2 years really at kind of how to bring in more immersive experiences. We've done a number of things where we've trialled sort of different technology, but I think Sensing the Unseen really brings all that together because it's all been about the innovation process and how we've sort of designed the exhibition, which has been at the heart of it, but also utilising all these new ways of storytelling in one experience.
So the design process that we use within this exhibition mixes up approaches from human-centred design and from digital innovation, so including design thinking and rapid prototyping. And for this exhibition we started not with an idea, but we started with a question. And we also started with a target audience. These were young culture escapists, aged 18 to 34, and so we designed for a specific group of someones, in the knowledge that by doing that you design a better something for everyone. So the question we started with was a really broad and big question. How might we help our visitors see the unseen in Gossaert's painting The Adoration of the Kings? So we took that question, we developed multiple ideas, and we evaluated those ideas with our target audiences. So by prototyping them and testing them, we got lots and lots of insights, and those insights absolutely informed how the idea was developed over the course of the last year we've been working on it.
It's been really great to be involved in this process as part of like the target audience that you're looking for. And I've really been encouraged to give my honest feedback the whole way through, and seeing this represented through the development journey has been really exciting.
Immersive experiences can go in so many directions, and I think when you're working with essentially a 2D piece of art, it could be very easy to take it off into some ways of storytelling that might not bring you back to the painting. And I think what's really lovely about this, and what everyone seems to be saying, is that we've managed to find that really rich balance between interpretation of storytelling, and I think that's the skill of the artists that we've had working with us, and it's a skill of the process we've followed, and people have come out looking again at the painting, which is what we hope them to do.
What has been really interesting for me with this process is to really focus on the meaning of the tech and where that fits in artistically, where that makes sense. We don't just want to throw technology in for technology's sake. We don't just want to put screens everywhere and put everyone in headsets because we can. We really want to consider something that makes sense artistically and spatially and pushes it to a place where I think we're doing something highly considered, and the tech is just supporting that and building towards something that's going to be really exciting and really thoughtful and fitting of what the National Gallery can do.
So for this exhibition, we worked with an in-house creative team that we brought together, comprised of gallery professionals and also external independent collaborators from a whole range of disciplines. And we all worked together in a very interdisciplinary way. And it was really only sort of in the second half and the second third of the project that people started to work within their own disciplines.
The project is really about transforming this painting into different forms of sensation, if you like, so our audience can see it in a different way, see it with their ears as well as their eyes perhaps. But I began by dividing the painting into zones and creating a kind of map, a sound map on the painting surface. And I very quickly realized that there were these sort of three kinds of sound. There was sound of objects that actually make noise in the painting. But then there's a layer, in addition to that, of the narrative, and that can be communicated perhaps through a narrator. In this case, we're experimenting with using a spoken poem. And then there is also the idea of using some kind of musical score as well to create an emotional response. So you've got the literal, the narrative, and the emotional layers of the painting.
So I was involved since December 2019, and it was a really exciting prospect for me because this was an opportunity to create an experience in an exhibition which was truly inclusive, because it's an exhibition that really utilises all of our senses. And when we were working on the exhibition, we really sort of came at it, approaching it through universal design principles. We did some user testing with neurodiverse audiences. We had a user tester who was partially sighted. During COVID, it was quite difficult because certain people, for very understandable reasons, found it difficult to come into the gallery. So we had to be flexible, we had to do a lot of user testing online, but I'm really, really proud of the result.
I remember one of the first very, very strong themes that came out was this idea about rebirth, how as a visitor you come in, you go through this process, through this journey, and it can really change the way that you see a piece of art. So my task was really to design and think about what would be the most immersive way to offer the visitors this experience. One of the things that was really important for me was to create structures that are not alienating to the space, and that they don't compete with the painting. And in a way, they respond to the colors, to the shapes, to this kind of fluidity that we can see in the painting, but still stand on their own, and then in a very novel and modern architectural way, actually create this immersion and cocoon experience for all.
So my role was to bring Balthazar's voice to life. Balthazar was a very unique character, being a Black king, and I really had to take into account the whole history of experience. So trying to imagine what it would be like right now for a king to have to bow to a baby, and what does that mean to leave where you are, and to think about what humility means as well. And so I really wanted to imagine what he would be feeling, which was why I was thinking about not just in the moment, but also after leaving, how that experience stays with you. For him as a Black king specifically, I was thinking about the modern day. What does it mean for Black leaders to have to carry that weight of hope, to have to believe that that moment of hope is something that is going to be sustained?
Everyone has just given so much to get this experience over the line. You know, particularly in a pandemic, it's been very challenging at times. And I think when you get the ideas, the minds, the creative energy of such an amazing group of collaborators as we had together in one space, you feel that. I think you feel that in the room, that collective energy, and that for me is so exciting. And to know that the 70 people who took part in all of that user research and testing, that they are in it as well. But also looking back to our initial aims and the initial feedback and conversations we had with those target audiences, you know, they wanted something that was quite contemplative, that was quite emotionally engaging. And I think it does that. And it also allows that space in which they could experience it both with their friends and alone. I think the other thing that was also important was that there is interaction, but it's not really in your face, it's quite subtly built in. And there's this discoverable meaning, which is you're not telling people what to think, you're just enabling them to interpret. So I really, really hope that that process of that sort of symbiotic relationship with our visitors and how we develop ideas will continue into future projects.
I hope that Sensing the Unseen actually gives us the confidence to do more of this type of experience. I think to play with technology. It's not always about the technology, but as that moves rapidly, it does open up new opportunities. And I think what we should feel really confident about is how we've worked with our audiences to test along the way, which has made the experience a lot stronger because of it.
Yeah, it was really cool. I really enjoyed it. Really see the detail, really get the other sort of senses involved, like, you know, hearing it and imagining what the painting was trying to say to the viewer. So I think it's really refreshing to be able to experience art in the National Gallery that's highlighted in that way.
I am powered by a fierce awe. I say to the stunned people, let us look deeply to know this hope deeply.